Hey Iraq gang, welcome back. Today, tonight, I think that this will be my first ever mukbang. I don't know for sure, because I'm not that, whatever the word is. So, we will be eating a very large helping of, hold on, I'll take off the sticker. They always put stickers on their food, and I don't know why. It's always good though. I like what they make. Hold on. Today, we will be eating fruit. Here we go. We got 2 apples and some grapes. Let's lock in. So today, I already know that nobody will hear this, so I'm gonna talk about it. I have a couple ideas for books. Now I'm soon gonna start writing. The first one's gonna be like Mecha Man versus Geoid. So I got a couple stories in the works. That's one of them. Another one is I'm like a cameraman hero. These grapes taste like dirt, but it's alright. So basically, right, all those memes where it was like, oh, you had these 2 superheroes fighting, but there's the cameraman still keeping up with them and breathing in space. Basically that. So that's gonna be Cameron, the cameraman hero. So that one takes place in like a, what's the word? Dystopian city? Or utopian? I don't know. It's because like everywhere else in the world, like powers are outlawed or whatever. But he lives in a place where you kind of just use them, as long as you're not being like a terrorist or something. And so his whole gist is he likes recording the fights that other heroes have in this city, but he don't got no powers. At least he don't think he does. And like, he's recording one fight, he's talking like, oh man, I'm trying to get better angle or whatever or not. And so he kind of like teleports behind him into like the 3rd person perspective. And like, he finds out he has powers or whatnot. The story goes along. He discovers like what would a cameraman need to have. So like, another little thing he has is like, his hands become like those gyro things, where like you put your phone on it, and no matter how you turn it, like the camera stays stable. You know what I mean? So his hands basically become those. I haven't thought about it too much, so I don't know like what that would actually do. Another thing, you can go into the 1st person perspective, and the best way to describe that is like, You know how like when you're reading a book and the first person perspective is like you're as the character? So basically he can do that. So anything that you can see out of cameras, people, dogs. Actually, no, let's just go people. Just people. Just people. He can kind of like possess. And when I say possess, I don't mean like he takes control of them and can like make them do things. I mean, like he can just see out of their eyes and kind of just hide in there. So nothing too crazy, but it opens up possibilities for him to like sneak around because he can jump person to person. The third person perspective is kind of like how I was talking about earlier. It basically just goes to like how the narrator would prescribe a third person narrative. So like when he uses it, he can only go behind the person he's using on. No exceptions. Behind them and kind of like above them, so like right here, but imagine farther back. Yeah. What's another good power? I remember I thought of a few. You can breathe in space for a little bit, because you need to record those things in space. Breathe underwater for a little bit. I got like grapes stuck in my teeth. He's got like above average, like normal strength. So like imagine the strongest guy on earth. 3 times that. Nothing too crazy, but enough to be like hero worthy. And when like he jogs, just like a normal jog, he's a little bit slower than the Usain Bolt. So yeah. And his arch nemesis is the mime. The mime. So basically, his gimmick is like Green Lantern, like whatever he imagines he can like create, but you can't see it. It's basically just invisible Green Lantern, but he can also walk up to like solid objects, like let's say like a wall. If he imagines there's a door there, he can just walk right through the wall because it's a mime. So, reality is his imagination, pretty much. And basically, the story between these two is none of the other like world-class heroes can get close enough to him, the mime, without getting killed or whatever. And so they have to train Cameron in order to like use his powers to his full potential or whatever. I'm gonna take him down. That's basically all I got now. I got little subplots going on too, like a Mecha Man versus Geoid. That's the first one I'm gonna write. I'm dead set on writing that. I just have to figure out if I'm gonna do it on like an art pad or pen and pencil. And I also have to figure out how to draw in a manga style, so that's gonna be hard. One of the main things I want to do is I want to try to keep it as fantasy-like as possible. So, like, completely avoid real-world politics, agendas, trends. Just keep it out. Keep it a story instead of a message. So yeah, there's another one I have a lot of the story laid out for, like a lot of the story, but I still need to do like character designs and stuff, and figure out their names. But I have a main character. I don't know his name, but I know what I'm looking for. So that's gonna be a good one. If I make that, it's probably gonna be the next like Dragon Ball. Then there's another one, a really old one I had in mind. I still think about it every now and then, and I have like a general idea laid out for it. I have like the complete. Actually, shoot, I could write that. Give me a second to think. I gotta think about what I'm doing. Yeah, I could write that. I could write that. I have my light hooked up behind the camera, and so when it fell down, I just got flashbanged. So, I actually have a name for that guy. Hemlock. This is a different one from the previous one I was talking about. Right. Cameron and Mecha Man versus Geoid. Those all take place in the same thing, right? So that's a story. There's the other one where it's like a 4-on-4, which is the one I was talking about, where I have like none of the characters' names were designed. But I have so much of the story laid out. That's a whole nother story. And I have this one. And then, is there another one? And then there's two more I have a really good idea for. So, this one's a lot more, what's the word, like dark toned, a lot darker. I think it would do well if I wrote it well, and they made the characters likable. The main problem I have with the Hemlock story and the main character in the 4-on-4 is they kind of start out the same. But the thing about this character is I have a lot of like key points planned out for him, But then at the end of the story, I can't picture any like character change. So I'm kind of stuck on that, and I don't want that for that one because I have like whole scenes drawn out in my head for this one. Hemlock one though, that's a different story. For that one, I have like the whole like first chapter, right? That's him taking down like the royal king or whatever, because he was messing with some demons, so some demon hearts and all that. Second chapter is what we'll call it. His journey to like the royal demons or whatever. To like go kill the big boss of the demons. So basically the story is he wants to kill the demons because the demons killed his parents. That's the story. That's the driving factor. Very simple, very straightforward, and you can do a lot with it if you do it right. So and I have to figure out how to design that world. Because when I picture it, because I have an idea for like each major element, not like airbender or whatever, but like dark, light, fire, water, lightning, like everything has like its own goddess or ruler over it. And so they can like bless people with like a really strong version of that power or whatever. But like the only two left standing are the dark and the light one. And so the darkness is a driving factor in like the first what you call it? I would say novel. Saga. We'll just go full Dragon Ball, first saga. And then in the second saga, darkness is still a driving factor, but light plays a much bigger role in it. That's all I'm saying for that story. That's my favorite one. I have a lot for this one. I don't have much for this one, but this one's my favorite. Which is weird. Okay. What's the other one? Oh. I want to talk about one that's kind of corny. Okay. So this one's about an army soldier that got like caught up in like a transportation thing to the other world. And basically what his gif is, go kill the demon lord, whatnot. But thing is, it's an endless loop if you kill it. So in this story, the heroes have always banished the ruler of the demons instead of killing him, banishing him for like another 100,000 years or whatnot. In this story, that's exactly what he wants. So, in this one, he has to go, after banishing the demon from the realm he got sent to, he has to go back to the realm he came from and kill him there. Because the demon can only be killed in the final dimension. It's weird. I have to play around with it. But I have a premise. It's hard to say it, but it's good. And now here's the funny one, okay? So like, The Cameron one would be like a superpower comedy. And this one would be a romance comedy. Now hear me out. I know it's corny. But it's a good idea for one because I haven't seen anybody do it yet. All right. All right. So basically, right? A young lad, maybe 16 years old. Let's go 16. Maybe, yeah, 16. 16 seems right. So basically, right? It's so corny. He basically pulls like the 10 out of 10 like Latina chick in the school. Pretty much. The hottest chick, so on and so forth. The girl, the one everybody wants. But thing is, he can see all his different ancestors and stuff, right? So while he's doing all this, right? Like, he asks her out. She says yes, and then, like, she can't see it, but he can. All his ancestors are just, like, freaking out, like, yeah! Whoa! Ah! Something like that. It's pretty corny. It sounds dumb on paper, but I think I could pull it off. So, yeah, basically, it's like a day-to-day life thing. It's still a like romance comedy, but or more of a slice of life. But yeah, he just goes day by day, talking to his ancestors, getting tips from them, getting answers for tests from them, and like the only place like he can see them outside of school or just anywhere. You can see them anywhere. But if he's in his house, they're physical. So they can like actually interact with stuff. The only problem with that is like people have a lot of ancestors, so I don't know how I'm gonna do that. But yeah, just a couple ideas I have. I didn't originally plan on kind of spitting all this. Hopefully no one bootlegs my stuff. Still be cool to see it on screen or a book, but still kind of suck to have it nicked. But yeah, if you take it, do well with it. Because if you don't, I will write it myself. And I'm still trying to figure out if I'm going to do that. Actually, I'm going to. That's a fact. So, yeah. My name is a black 09. Don't you forget it, or I'll blow up your house.